Hi, my name is Dani Kim. I play flute and I'm from Northern Virginia. This year I'll be joining NYO-USA for their 2017 tour to Latin America, and in the fall I'll be attending Carnegie Mellon University. Today I'll be giving some advice on how to work effectively and efficiently with a piano accompanist. Advice number 1, give yourself time and good options. It's crucial to give yourself enough time to find a reputable accompanist, because if you don't, you'll have to stress and end up finding someone last minute, which I've had to do one too many times. 1 to 2 weeks before a performance should be plenty of time for you to try rehearsing with a few accompanists to see who you work best with. As for options, be sure to take recommendations from your private teacher or musician friends who have personally worked with an accompanist before. You'll want to work with an accompanist who knows your repertoire, follows you well, but also reacts positively to the changes that you recommend. In one instance, I had to perform Chaminade's Concertino, which is a fairly easy piece, with a family friend. This was a last-minute decision because of the circumstances. Long story short, he was an excellent pianist, but he had never accompanied before, which I found out right when we started rehearsing. The performance ended up being mediocre at best, which was really disappointing. Moral of the story is, you need time and you need an experienced accompanist. Advice number 2, give clear instructions to your accompanist on how you interpret the piece that you'll be playing. Different musicians will interpret one piece in many different ways, including you and your accompanist, so make sure that you're not too shy to express your opinions. Even if you're on the quieter side like me, you have to speak up, or else on performance day, you will end up trying to follow the accompanist when actually the accompanist should be following you, the soloist. Another important thing to remember is to mark your music where you need to give physical cues to your accompanist. Make sure your movement is natural and flows with the music, but also gives a clear direction to your accompanist. Here's an example. And here's an example of how you shouldn't cue your accompanist. Last but not least, advice number 3 is to not waste time during rehearsals. You'll likely be paying an accompanist by the hour, so make sure to use your time effectively. Play the piece from beginning to end only once at the beginning of the rehearsal, and try to use the rest of the time to target difficult portions of the piece. Only at the very end of a rehearsal should you try to play the piece from beginning to end again, if at all, to try to compile all the work that you've done throughout the rehearsal. 1 to 3 rehearsals before your performance should be enough, and always try to meet your accompanist about 15 minutes before you have to perform at the venue. This time should be used for last-minute troubleshooting, reverb sound check, balancing the sound between you and the accompanist, and more. I recently played Doppler's Hungarian Pastoral Fantasy for flute and piano at a studio recital, which has a lot of rubato and requires constant communication between the soloist and the accompanist. My accompanist was a grad student and a friend of my teacher's. Our first and only rehearsal, we played through the entire piece just once, then touched on some spots here and there, and we worked so well together that that was all that we really needed. The performance ended up being really fantastic, and to be honest, he was one of the best accompanists that I'd ever worked with. To summarize, just remember these 3 things. Number 1, have plenty of time and options. Number 2, be clear and forward with your interpretations. And number 3, don't waste any time. Thanks for watching this NYO-U mini masterclass on how to work well with an accompanist. Please be sure to subscribe below and check out the other videos by other musicians. Thanks again for watching.